So over the last couple of months, I've been managing to meditate every day. Not for a long
Good.
period, but
Hmm.
every day I've done it.
Good.
And it's been, you know, like it was a very positive experience, but it stopped. And I found that one of the interesting things while I was doing it was that I began to get pretty attached to the idea of continuing my winning streak, right? Uh, it's
Uh-huh.
like I'm not going to stop because I wanted to carry on.
Right.
And I started to actually feel a bit bad about that because it did feel like as if I was just trying to win a race against myself rather than anything else. And what I found, which is weird, is that since I stopped, and I think the last time I meditated was on the night before the elections when we had that fantastic meditation session and a great mantra at the end, which I really enjoyed.
Hmm.
But I feel like I'm actually not feeling as if I'm missing it,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
so I'm slightly lacking impetus to go
Hmm.
back doing it.
Hmm.
And I wondered if you could help me with
Hmm.
that.
Okay. Well, that's what we're here for. Uh, so, first of all, let's be clear when you say you were on this winning streak and then it stopped. Let's define our terms here. What do you mean by that? What's a win and what's a loss?
Well, to me, the win was just kind of like to do it every day. I
Uh
mean,
huh.
it's kind of like something that I mean, this was the longest time that I've ever meditated. I've
Right.
meditated for 60 days consistently or
Right.
59 or whatever it was.
Right.
But yes, as I say, on my meditation app, I started to kind of like rejoice when it
Hmm.
would click up from sort of 56 to 57 days or whatever.
Right.
So it did feel a bit like kind
Right.
of, yes,
Right.
got there
So
again.
so when
Yeah,
you say it stopped, really what you mean is
I
you
stopped.
stopped. You
I
stopped.
stopped. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
I
be
stopped.
clear
Let's
about
be clear. Yeah.
that. Right. Um, so I part of what I hear you saying is I think that you saw yourself, in this rejoicing. Okay, one more click. It in a sense, and I think you were picking up on this that it's what it was a form of what Chigyam Trungpa Rinpoche famously called spiritual materialism. Right? I got one more bean in the pot. I got one more penny in the piggy bank. I'm that much closer to it being full. And once the piggy bank is full up, then will you go over the rainbow into enlightenment la la land or something. All right. And I almost get the feeling from what you're saying that it's almost as if you had to sabotage your daily meditation just because you felt you had to blow up that spiritual materialism. Does that sound plausible?
Maybe. I think it was partly that, but it was also just a kind of a sense of like, will I feel a lot worse if I don't
Uh
do
huh.
this?
Uh huh.
And I think that's the thing that surprised me is that I haven't felt like, I really enjoyed it while I was doing it, but
Mm-hmm.
I haven't felt like I've missed it since I've
Yeah.
stopped
Yeah.
doing.
Well, the point of meditation is to not have to meditate anymore. The point of meditation, this is what should happen. What should happen is that we feel the same out of meditation as we do in. In meditation, oh, we're just being with what is. In the face of whatever is, we're just being. And as we continue to practice that, the the simplicity of just being more and more unfolds itself to us. The experience of just being more and more clearly unfolds itself to us as, oh, this just being, that we, that phrase just being can sound like merely being, it's like it's flat, it's just, and it becomes more and more clear that just being is, there's nothing flat about it. There's nothing mere about it. Oh, this is the boundless okayness that I was looking for everywhere else. It's that I was looking for in the realms of thinking and acting and doing and experiencing, the realms of the senses, the interactions with objects and substances and relationships and all that. If we find that, oh, it's much closer to home. In fact, home, home, home is where the heart is. The heart, the core of our being. It turns out that the fulfillment, we were looking for everywhere else. That's the nature of this, and so that's what we discover in meditation. And the point is that that discovery more and more comes out of meditation with us. So we're living from that place of just and being able to be completely engaged in activity at the same time. And when we can do that 100%, 100%, 100%, Henry, when we can do that, when I don't even want to say can, when spontaneously we are doing that 100%, then meditation has fulfilled its purpose. Then in principle, at least, we don't have to meditate anymore. The fact is, we may continue to do it because it's kind of a graceful habit. It's nice physically for the physical system to just rest and cool off, and they say promotes longevity. At that point, there is a tendency for people who meditate, daily or daily-ish for many years to maintain a certain physical vitality. So in principle, we don't need to meditate anymore, but we probably keep doing it. I think often what will happen, I've seen cases like this before, and where maybe you've kind of gotten enough pennies in the bank for now, that you've got some pretty good radiance going on for yourself, and then you'll keep, so it kind of feels like, oh, I don't need to keep putting pennies in the bank right now. Usually what happens is that in cases like that, at a certain point, you run out. And you feel, oh yeah, I'm not really done with meditation yet. So what I recommend, and again, everything's optional. You're completely in charge of your own life. But what I find, and what I find, what I recommend to people, and what generally teachers in these traditions recommend, is there is something about sitting down regularly and just regularly giving the beingness a chance to infuse further into your life. You can get to a point where you feel, oh yeah, I'm kind of there. I don't feel like I need any further infusion. But my experience, and I've been doing this for a while. My experience is, no, it keeps getting better. I don't feel like I've reached the end of it. So, so I sit down every day.
Yeah, and I think what you just said to Charles about, in a sense, not striving,
Yeah,
um, but letting kind of nature, Mother Nature, you know,
yeah, yeah,
decide what happens in your meditation. I mean, that in and of itself, that's something that I've never really kind of encountered, I guess, in so it's just like there's an endless amount of stuff to kind of experience in meditation,
yes,
to
yeah,
non to not experience.
yeah,
And I do feel like I do feel kind of like intellectually, I want to do this,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just
Mm-hmm.
kind of like it's just the motivation's not quite there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's the way to approach it is exactly what you say. It's just
Yeah.
it.
You know what really motivates people to practice? Suffering.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and you know, a lot of people will first seriously get on the Dharma path. You know, we've talked about this many times before. They'll first really go, okay, you know, oh, my marriage fell apart. Oh, I got cancer. Oh, what I lost my job. I just had a long talk on the phone this morning with a dear friend for many years who's just lost his job, um, and and then you go, okay, now tell me about that meditation stuff, right? Uh, and and if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But I really hate suffering. I hate pain, and so what I wanted, my approach is don't wait to fall into suffering to practice. keep keep practicing regularly, and so that you're in more and more in that, just that place so well, that place of just being in the face of what is. I was back at the dentist today. I lost a filling and I had to go back in the dentist chair. And a lot of people really dread going to the dentist, and a lot of people go in and they got their music, and they got TV screens there to distract the kids and all that. And I swear I'm just sitting there and going, it was great. It was just like meditation. I'm sitting and being with what is, and what is there's all these buzzing sensations and noises and shining lights and suctioning the water out of my mouth and all that, whatever, and I'm just happily just being with it. And it's just like the meditation I had done here on my cushion a couple of hours earlier.